I want to thank the members of the media for joining us today. I'm here today at Buffalo Police Headquarters with Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia, with Chief of Detectives Craig Macy, and the family members of Jasmine Fomby. Many of us are here today because we, quite frankly, are heartbroken. We're angry. But one thing is for sure, we all want answers. We want those who commit homicides in our community to face justice. In our continuing effort to solve homicides, we're announcing a new initiative in the city of Buffalo. Buffalo Police are working directly with the families of homicide victims to encourage witnesses to speak up. Today, we are calling on the public to do the right thing and help us solve unsolved homicides. From now until mid-August, Buffalo Police have arranged to have a billboard put up at the intersection of Michigan and Cherry about Jasmine Fomby's death. Jasmine is the 14-year-old girl who was struck and killed by gunfire on May 4th on Alexander Place as dozens of teenagers were leaving a party. She was funny and outgoing with a full life ahead of her. She was loved by many people. I want to thank the family of Jasmine Fomby for their courage and for being here today. To Jasmine's mom, Angel Myrie, your courage is inspiring. No one should have to lose a child like this. Certainly, as mayor, I extend condolences on behalf of our entire community. This billboard lists a $7,500 reward from Crime Stoppers Western New York, encouraging witnesses to come forward. I want to recognize the leadership of Police Commissioner Gramaglia and Chief of Detectives Craig Macy and the members of the Buffalo Police Department on this initiative. The Buffalo Police have also interviewed Jasmine's family members, and today we will share their video testimonials requesting anyone with information to come forward. The video testimonials are powerful, they're touching, and we hope they will touch the hearts of people who have information to come forward. We know someone knows something about what happened that night. If you saw something, say something. No detail is too small. It is our hope that when people look at this first in a series of billboards and video, they will and see Jasmine, they will pick up their phone and pass along information. Here to tell us more about this important initiative is Buffalo Police Commissioner Joe Gramaglia.
Thank you, sir. So this is going to begin a series of video testimonials, homicide family victim testimonials that we're going to use through our social media and the media to get out this information. We know that frequently in homicide cases, there are witnesses, there are people that know something, there are people that saw things, and even if you hear something, all of that information is vitally important to our homicide investigations. We know for a fact that there were a significant amount of people at the homicide on May 4th of Jasmine. We know for a fact that there are witnesses and that people know something and they can come forward and put this case over the top so that we can make an arrest and at least get some level of closure or comfort to the family knowing that an arrest has been made. We're hoping that with the cooperation of families, and this is a tremendous amount of courage for families to be able to come forward and talk about their loved ones, that someone will see this and they'll have a conscience and they'll want to come forward and do something. I encourage everyone to pass this video around, watch the video, send it to everybody, and please come forward and give us something that we can bring closure to this case. The billboard has gone up. The billboard has been put up with the use of asset forfeiture money, so we're using drug money to pay for this. It'll run for a month, and we are going to start these testimonials for roughly at about every month, we're going to put a new homicide testimonial out. So we're reaching out to families, and we're going to garner cooperation so they can come forward and have an opportunity to say something, to speak their truth about their family member, and then we will get these videos out in an effort to garner this cooperation. I want to thank Chief of Detectives Craig Macy for working on this initiative, for getting this going forward, and getting them out. What we want to do is get these out pretty heavy in the areas, particularly where these homicides occurred. We're going to get our NET team and our community police officers to also leaflet around the areas where the homicides occur to hopefully, again, garner somebody to come forward. If you know anything, don't think that we know that information already. Please call, even if you think we have the information, please call and let us know, and let us be the judge of what we know, what is useful, and what might not be useful, but we need those calls to come forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Now I want to turn to Jasmine's mom, Angel, and give Angel the opportunity to say a few words.
Good afternoon. Unfortunately, my child did pass from gun violence, and like we did speak about, right is right, wrong is wrong, and no child lose their life due to gun violence. If anyone know anything, I mean, it would be encouraging for them to go to the Buffalo Police or call that hotline, the tip line, because our family is definitely grieving still from this situation. And that's all.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angel. And again, thank you for your courage and the courage of your family. We'll now open up to any questions that the members of the media have.
Mayor, will it be one billboard, or is there a plan to have more billboards at some point featuring other cases as well?
Yes, it will be initially one billboard featuring Jasmine's story and videos, and then in the next month there will be another person's story with a billboard and video. So there will be a video that will be produced by the Buffalo Police Department every month.
You've used billboards in the past in homicide investigations.
Commissioner?
Or is that new as well? Where's the new piece, the social media?
We have used billboards in some cases. We've used them in some cold cases. You know, the billboards certainly have a reach. We know social media has a larger reach. That's why we're doing both, and that's why we want to put these video testimonials together, because we all know how social media can spread, so we're really going to push this out. But we have used some billboards in the past.
But the new piece is the social media. You haven't done the videos in the past, is that right?
No, this is going to be new with our socials. So we have someone on staff that does a tremendous job at producing videos, monitoring our social media, putting that content together, and he's the one that gets these videos together for us, working with homicide and the families.
Could you talk about why you think people have not come forward? And there were hundreds, probably, of witnesses to this event.
You know, I can only surmise in any case why people don't come forward, whether it's out of fear, intimidation, or thinking somebody else is going to come forward. But there were a lot of young people there, and you know, I think one of the things that I hope for is that their parents see this video, that they can look at this, and then they can maybe, look within themselves and think, that could have been my child, and maybe sit down and talk to their child that they know were probably at that party or know something, and talk to your child and get information to come forward.
Commissioner, how much is this one billboard costing, and do you have any latest homicide statistics you can share with us?
7,500 is a billboard?
That's the reward.
No, what was the
The
billboard
actual
cost?
fee is about $1,200.
Yeah, it's about $1,200 for the billboard. Again, that comes out of asset forfeiture money. We've made very good progress on homicide clearances this year. I believe the latest number is 26 homicide cases cleared from both this year and in prior years. We are at 22 homicides for the year. We have been making a lot of good progress. We've had great working relationship with the district attorney's office on getting these cases forward, and we're going to do everything we can in our power to get whatever information out, to do whatever we can to make an arrest, to bring closure to these cases.
Commissioner, do you know, as we reported back then, they believe Was there any follow-up on that action with any individuals who might have held this party? And then again, with the fact that there were supposedly, again, 3 handguns present at that party as was reported?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the specifics of any evidence that may or may not have been collected. We're really going to keep that as part of the investigation, particularly because this case is still open and we don't want to cause any potential issues going forward with a grand jury or with a trial. We look at every address, we look at any incident that something occurs. This party that had happened was broken up, and then it kind of traveled around, and some groups kind of traveled around being dispersed. So it's, we don't have the necessary reach, if you will, on if there's an owner, hypothetically, if there's an owner-occupied location versus a commercial space versus a rental space. If someone's renting an apartment or renting a house, we certainly have the ability to do an order to vacate going through housing court. That is a challenge, getting through that process. But when it comes to businesses, and we've closed bars, we've closed establishments because there are licenses that they hold that are issued by the city, and we have more authority on that end. So right now, we're looking to garner cooperation on this case, get people to come forward.
Are you able to say if it was a private home or if this was like an Airbnb type deal where they rented the property for the party?
I have no information it was an Airbnb at this time.
Commissioner,
Would Jasmine's mother like to talk a little bit more about her daughter? I know we're gonna hear from you on video, but, this is, another chance to get your message out about your daughter and how you feel about those people who have not come forward yet.
Well,
Come to the microphone.
okay. Well, Jasmine, she was a funny, outgoing, loving baby. It was her year to graduate this year. She did graduate. She was looking forward to going to high school and getting her summer job. She was just a nice, outgoing. She was a nice girl. She was just a regular teenager, normal teenager. Good girl. And I am a little upset why no one's haven't spoken about this yet, because I hate for it to even happen again, because it's for someone to think that they got away with it. So, sometimes people just does it again, and I hope this doesn't happen again.
Angel, what is your direct message to the person who did this to your daughter?
I just wish they would come forward, that's all. I just wish they can come forward. To know how much pain that they gave to our family.
Anyone else?
How many unsolved murders do you think you have on the books? And would this approach be ever applied? Now, obviously, ones that go way back, like we aired one, I believe the Crime Stoppers put out from 1985, a 13-year-old girl. Could you use this approach, or is that difficult? Obviously, family members may have passed, you don't have people to talk to. But could this be expanded, possibly?
Yeah, we're going to look at particular cases, and unfortunately, there's far too many open homicides going back, many, many years, decades. But we're going to look at some of those cases where we have information and we just need something to put it over the top, and we're going to look at some where we need to kickstart a case. Some issues at times with some of the cold cases, it can go both ways. You've got some where so much time has passed that people aren't afraid to speak up, or that they are more willing to speak up. And some are so old that unfortunately, there's no viable witnesses. Those are things that we're going to have to look at. We look through cases. We have 2 detectives that are assigned to our cold case unit, and they are digging into a significant number of cases. They have numerous active cases, and when I mean active, that are on their desk and working leads on. But they are very lengthy. They're time-consuming working a cold case because of, as you just said, the amount of time that they have been cold. So, we're just getting started with this. We've already got an idea of who we want to look to for our next case. I'm not going to divulge that right now. We'll let that out when it moves forward. But we're going to start looking at cases to identify and where we believe that we can really get the most impact. We don't want to just grab a random case that we have really nothing to go on just for the sake of doing it. We want to be kind of strategic about it, that hopefully it will get us into a position where we can advance our evidence and make an arrest.
Commissioner, if we could, Governor yesterday saying that she was really stepping up security, they were making sure the state police was watching.
Hold on one second, we're gonna go off topic.
Yeah, this is off.
Yeah, why don't we wait a little bit?
One more on top. When did the billboard actually go up? Was it this morning?
Yesterday. It went up yesterday. Yeah, we were, kind of hoping to do this yesterday, but the company was working to get the billboard up, so now it's been up since yesterday.
And this will be up through August.
The middle of August. It's up for a month.
Commissioner, you did talk about in the Ramon Carter arrest, how important eyewitness testimony was to that case. Can you just, I know you can't talk about specifics of that case, but can you expand on the role that eyewitness testimony plays in homicide investigation?
Sorry, we're off topic again? We're off topic? If we're done on topic, I just want to clear the stage and just have the Commissioner and Chief of Detectives take the off topic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just, yeah, just, keeping in mind, it's very emotional for the family being here, and it took a lot for them to come up here and the mom to come up here to be able to speak, so we're trying to be very, very cognizant of the emotions that mom, and in fact, the emotions that we're all going through. To get to your question, when it comes to eyewitness testimony, it's vital. It's obviously vital. Do we always need that? No. There are cases that we have other ways of bringing closure to a case, but it's a combination of the technology, the investments in technology that the city and the police department have made, as well as that eyewitness testimony, feeding off of each other. So, having eyewitnesses is tremendously important. And having those people come forward and testify as to what they saw, it's tremendous.
Commissioner, as I was saying yesterday, the governor actually came out and said they are carefully monitoring to make sure there are no security threats, anything like that. I know obviously you have your behavioral threat assessment organization, the unit. Are you seeing, I know you can't specifically say, but are you seeing any increase in chatter, so to speak, or are you carefully monitoring?
We're monitoring, and it's it takes everybody to monitor social media and to monitor behaviors at schools. We get reports that come from parents. Sometimes they come directly from the school that goes right to our chief of schools, Aaron Young, and then Chief Young will forward those reports. But all of those reports, all of those social medias, anything that we find that could be concerning to us or even potentially already rise to that level of a threat, they go right to our threat management unit. Chief Macy makes sure that those get right to the threat management unit detectives, and depending on the urgency of that threat, whether there is an actual identified threat made, we'll get those detectives in on overtime, we'll get them in the middle of the night, and they start working these cases up while our SROs are monitoring those schools when school's in session, and we'll get extra manpower to those schools. So, we've got a way of investigating these cases so that we make sure that the schools are as safe as can be. They kind of go back and forth, and that's kind of the challenge with kids and phones and social media, is that these things are going fast and furious. They're conversations, and sometimes they can turn into a threat. So I'm not going to say that we're seeing throughout the school year that we've seen an increase or a decrease. We take every single one of them very seriously, and we vet them out for what they are. There is free speech, but free speech ends when there is a documented threat. And we've made arrests throughout the year. We've petitioned kids to family court. We've done emergency risk protection orders on certain cases. So we've got the manpower, and we've got the knowledge and the expertise to move on these cases and move on them quickly.
I was actually referring to political threat in the wake of the Trump.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought when you said schools, I thought you young kids.
That's what the governor was specifically speaking about yesterday, and the concerns. We aren't too far from Butler, Pennsylvania. We've had individuals from here that were involved in January 6th, things of that nature. So that's where I was just asking.
Yeah, so no, we're not seeing anything that's jumping out at us, but we work with, obviously, the Analysis Center, but we work with the New York State Police and their Intelligence Bureau. We work with the FBI. We are embedded in many layers, local, state, and federal, all working with one another and monitoring. So no, we're not seeing anything that's causing us concern. If anybody sees anything, a post or anything, please forward it to us is what we ask. But no, we're not seeing anything that has increased at all.
Over this past week, there was a shooting at the
So no, yeah, you know, the one thing I'll say about the Golden Nugget is this is the first incident that we've had there. I mean, it traditionally is an older place, and I'm careful of my words when I say older, but it's not a place where young kids go. We've already been in contact with them. We are getting the cooperation, and what we've seen in some other times and other bars and other establishments is a lack of cooperation, and that's not what's happening here. You know, they've been helpful in getting us, you know, the information that we need. But we've already had conversations, and there will be a sit-down to review their security protocols. You know, we're making some recommendations, but they have already gotten ahead of us on that before we could even talk to them, and they've made some changes to their security protocols, and that's what we want to see out of establishments. We want to see owners and management be very proactive when it comes to their security protocols. There's going to be a breakdown in security. It's just the nature of reality. There is going to be some breakdowns, but we want to see what you had in place at the time, and then identify where those flaws were, and let's work to fix that. They're already ahead of us on that, so we're working with them. So we are going to have a sit-down with them this week. We're going to look at what changes they're already making and what recommendations that we can make on top of that.
Is there any kind of an update on St. Mary's Road homicide from, I think it was last night?
It was last night. Yeah, it's very soon to put any updates out, but you know, unfortunately, we did have a shooting homicide. An individual, I know press briefing went out this morning, but an individual was shot multiple times and unfortunately was died on scene. So homicide investigators were in last night. They're working this case actively. Again, that's part of you know, going out, canvassing for video, looking for witnesses. So it's too soon to really make any comments on it at this point.
Isn't it one last one, the fatal fire and stabbing, unfortunately?
So that at this point, it is I don't know if you want to speak on that, Chief. We are looking at the homicide that occurred and how it's connected to the fire. The medical examiner has not provided a final update on the fatal fire. We're still working through that, but you know, we're pretty confident in our direction on that case, and when we do have final resolution, then we will put something out on that.
All right, we good? Marty?
Just what, so including last night, 22 homicides?
We're at 22, including, yes, 22 for the year.
And of those, I know the clearance rate overall was high, but of the 22, do you know what the clearance rate is?
14?
14 in year.
Yeah, 14 in year out of those 22, but we also have some that are, you know, very active and very close. So we anticipate that number changing as we move forward.
So Commissioner, just to be clear, 14 of 22 this year, 26 overall.
Correct.
We good, everybody? All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you.